Good morning, soccer fans, and welcome to the UWS Kickoff Show, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. This summer, we are excited to get you primed up for the weekend action in UWS and UWS 2, bringing you interviews, stories, and updates as we get ready for hashtag Summer of Soccer each and every weekend. We are in match day 3, week 3 of the season, and I present to you my hosts for the show this morning, Megan and Danny. Good morning to you guys. How is everything going for you?
Hashtag Summer of Soccer, baby. We're out here. We we love it. I'm doing great. Brand new host family here in North Carolina. So feeling the kind of getting to know this family and 3 kids all under the age of 10. So that's kind of the vibe we're living in for the next few months. I am loving it. Kind of thriving off that energy and doing great.
Awesome.
Megan, how are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm feeling great. It's game day for me. Unity FC playing tonight at 7 p.m. Northeast Regional Park. If you guys want to come check it out, or live on My Cujo along with all of our other events for the UWS. So yeah, excellent. Feeling really good, really excited, buzzing to be talking about soccer and best way to prepare for a game tonight.
What better way? And here in San Diego, it's everybody thinks San Diego has warm and tropical-like weather sometimes, but it's overcast. It's wedding season, though. Congratulations to my cousin, Cameron, who's getting married this weekend, him and his beautiful wife, to be Chelsea. I'm excited to add another family member down here in San Diego, so it'll be fun. So, hey, listen, today we're talking about the matchup between FC Wichita and the KC Courage. And to help us provide some insight on the match today, joining us from the KC Courage, we have Wendy and Candace. This is actually my second time interviewing both of these wonderful women, Fearless and Capable and KC Courage. I'm excited to have this opportunity to talk to you guys today. So let's get into some of the stuff. They're playing today at 4 p.m. at, if I'm saying this wrong, let me know. It's at Villa University in Kansas City, yes?
That's what we're going to call it from now on. It's Avila.
Avila. All right. So Avila University in Kansas. Hey, California. You just go with it, right? So yeah, I'm excited to see this match. You guys are opening up the Midwest Conference play today. How excited are you for that opportunity to open play and actually kick the ball in a league match this weekend, you guys?
Well, it's definitely a long time coming. I mean, we've just sat patiently, since COVID hit, and I think all of the players are ready. All of the women on our team are ready to get at it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. You can tell the energy even from tryouts to the last 2 weeks of training. They have been like, okay, let's get to the match. Let's get to the full on, everything, leave it out on the field. So that energy has been consistent throughout. Even this week was full of rain, and that's like the best soccer weather, let's be honest, like wet weather where we're sliding and battling, and the energy was there, and it's excited. So I think I'm excited to see them in the locker room this afternoon, because I think that energy is going to start really flowing through and hopefully be a little bit more focused to FC Wichita and doing what we need to do on the field for those 90 minutes.
Well, let's get into some questions. Megan, why don't you start us off this morning with questions, and let's find out what's going to happen today for the KC Courage.
Yeah, so you guys say there's a good buzz, a lot of anticipation with the long await of the game. So how have you been controlling that and preparing for this opening game? Is there anything in particular you've been working on in your practices?
Wendy, if you want to talk about some of the off-field stuff, I think that'd be huge.
Sure. We've got Jason Bells with AGY training, working with us. He's a performance training coach, and that's been a great addition to what we have within our training session. So he kind of starts out with some activation, and I think it's really been good, because so many of these college players, if they're fresh off a season, which is never happened before. And so it's a little bit of recovery for many of them, and for our older women that we have on the team, it's just game day prep, it's activation, it's injury prevention, which has been just a piece that's been fantastic going into our preseason, and being able to focus physically on that. And then on the mental prep side of it, elite
elite performance.
There's all these
elite performance counseling.
Elite performance counseling. Dr. Robin has been doing surveys with all of our players on developing mental skills and mental prep, and trying to relieve some of game day anxiety and working on visualization. So that's been really fascinating to kind of look at the results of some of those, some of the instrument that she used, and looking at the results and across the board, just seeing where players stand in their mental game, and then collectively as a team where we go moving forward into today's match.
Yeah.
So Wendy, I have to ask, you have the sports psychologist piece now. We talked about this a few weeks ago as it relates to the sports psychologist. How is that working for you guys? Have you seen a difference in your players? Have you seen a difference in the overall attitude and performance as it relates to having that sports psychologist as part of your crew now?
Well, I think I don't know. It just really provides it's like when you watch game film, I mean, you can see yourself and you can go, oh, wow, yeah, I should have done this, or I should have done that. Oh, I do this well. So it's kind of a picture, the feedback that we're getting is they're getting a chance to see where they stand mentally. And from a coaching perspective, Candace and I are looking at all of these results and going, oh yeah, there's the piece that now I get it, so,
yeah. I mean, from a training session perspective, having that data for both me and them has been, I think it's been an enlightening experience, as Wendy's saying, and I can see trends. I can, as a coach, go in and, speak to a player in a way that I think would either develop a skill or brings out that skill that, they've already developed within themselves as a highly rated one that they feel comfortable with. So from that perspective of creating that individual rapport and trust between coach and player, it's a huge tool. What we're at right now is this foundation base. And so really going to be working, weekly. I know some of the players have reached out to Dr. Robin and had one-on-one discussions about their graph and how they can enhance themselves. So it's this tool of, using it as a team, but also at the end of the day, giving the players some accountability to their own development, and what they want to achieve and how those results really can push them to that next level, or help them maintain if they're already at a pretty high level functioning as a player, not just on the field, but off the field and off season. So I think it's going to continue to be a tool that I'm going to be excited to see how it plays out over the next several weeks. So, yeah.
Danny?
The big question that stands out to me is, looking at the first couple of match days around the league, we've had, some really close matches, and we've had some pretty, big score lines of, blowouts. And it's interesting because you can see things going one of two ways as far as, your first match day of the season. How well are those players going to gel? How are things going to go? And looking at Wichita, it seems like a complete question mark, more or less. So what are you guys' thoughts on how this match will go? Are we expecting a tight game? Are we, what can we expect from the scoreline?
Well, Wichita's always given us a good game. We're kind of across state rivals, if you want to look at it that way. But you're right. It is a bit of a question mark. And I think that's just the nature of summer soccer, as rosters change every year and players are kind of in and out. In looking at their roster, they've got a lot of returners, and as do we. So there's not too much of a mystery, I don't think, in it, but I'm definitely expecting a good matchup today.
Yeah.
Candace, does it?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I apologize.
No,
go ahead. I was going to ask you, how do you prep for an unknown entity as a coach? And is it a gift or is it a curse not knowing what you are lining up against?
It's totally both. So the gift of it is that, we can control our controllables. And for a player, I think that's number one, getting them in the mindset physically, mentally, emotionally. What can you control for the next 90 minutes? And so that's our pure focus, because we're going to have to, adapt. And that has already been the discussion of here's the game plan, but be ready. And I think this group that we have in particular they're so smart. they're so smart and so creative. And I believe in that, the game plan is this. And when we get to there and we want to make an adjustment or, change something, they're going to be on board. I've been extremely appreciative of the way they train. I think the game teaches us so much. So I'm a coach that lets the game teach as much as possible. Not my voice, little bits, pieces here, but let's learn through the game as much as possible. And I want the players to have trust and confidence in each other. And that's been the focus over the last 2 weeks. We've got tactics. We'll develop them. We're continuing to discuss that. But at the end of the day, as Wendy said, we've got women coming in from all over, returning new, and having that trust and confidence. Can have all the tactics in the world, but if I don't trust the people around me, you don't get that far. And so that's been a huge concept over the last few weeks, is just trying to gel, trying to create some combinations that, seem to be working together better or have that potential to work. And let's bring them together a little bit more often. So that's been really the focus. Heck yeah, I want to know what FC Wichita is about to throw at us. I'm not going to lie. That's been, I've studied, who we know is going to be in the match today. And I'm trying to think about if I was their coach. And, I'll be honest. My husband happened to be in Wichita last night, knows the coaches. So he went over to the field, and I think they might've gotten a little nervous. I think he messed with them and said he was streaming the game or training to me. He wasn't, but I think they got a little nervous seeing the Mr. Fabry show up at the fields, but just happened to be there for other reasons, soccer related. But heck yeah, I want to know, and excited that we'll have the opportunity to play them again, regardless how the match goes. But as Wendy said, it's crosstown. It's the players. When I've said, which game are you most excited about? I mean, obviously it's the first one, but it's FC Wichita. So they're ready, knowing there's some blood in there, a little bit, good and bad. We'll see how it all lands, but that's been the game plan so far, and we'll see how it works out today.
I love it. It gets the red Sharpie treatment right away. That's the best way to have it. Awesome. Yeah. Yep. Megan, what about you? Any questions for coaches?
So yeah, as you say, opening game, somewhat of a rivalry game. These nerves are going to be high. I'm sure the work with the sports psychologist is going to be helping with that. What kind of things are you going to be saying to these girls to keep them with their nerves in check, ready to channel them into a strong performance and not letting them affect them?
Yeah, I mean, this morning, they're going to be getting some visualization notes, some things that I want them to get to. So they're already in that mindset of contributing and impacting, and not into the mode of what are they going to do. Again, I stress the controllables. So that'll be a big piece of this, is what can you control in the 90 minutes? And that's whether you're on the field, whether you're on the bench. We've told the players that didn't make the roster, you are huge being in the stands. Your support will mean a ton to the 11 that are on the field. So making sure that everyone is kind of in that support mode of things aren't going to go perfect every moment of the game, but how we respond. And a big thing we've been stressing is details. The details to work together, the details to take the extra 2 steps to, open up, the details to, allow creativity and see what happens and be okay with the result if the creativity doesn't work out that time, but still push again, see if we can solve it a different way. And so that hopefully will come into this, that they're not looking for Wendy and I to expect perfection, that we expect, effort, and we expect them to embrace the details, but also have this freedom to play. And I think, listening to any pro player, when they have the freedom to play, that is when magic happens. And so letting them be their unique selves on the field is going to be one of the highlights, I hope, of the season. And to watch those moments play out in the highlights will be a fun thing, I think, for all of us to see.
Well, and Candace talked about the trust, perspective from the players, and that goes towards the coaching staff as well. So, within our roster of players, within the player pool, we have so many players that are coaches themselves, so you get into this, are there too many cooks in the kitchen? Well, I mean, I don't look at it that way. They bring so much experience. Candace already said they're so smart, so I believe, the soccer IQ on the field, at least on our part, is pretty high. You might have coaches that may play a different style, different formation, but at the end of the day, we're collectively all together, and we know that there's buy-in. The trust is reciprocal, so we trust the players on the field, and that they can they can take care of what they need to on the field, and they don't need a lot of joysticking. They're super independent with a lot of experience. So I trust in that process as well with Candace.
Well, I mean, you're talking about it now, Wendy, and Candace, you mentioned something that really struck me too was, I don't want my voice to control them. I want the game to teach them as they're playing it. Surely there's a couple of players in particular that can help kind of make that process happen on the field as kind of, and you mentioned, there could be 4 or 5, who are really coaches who are on the field as well playing. Who are some of those names that maybe, we won't, because we'll see the goal scorers, we'll see who grabs the assists and who grabs the saves, but who are those players who, you can't put on the score sheet their leadership qualities? Who are those players we should be watching for?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with Kaylin Williams in goal. The experience, I'm excited she's getting into coaching. So as another female coach and a goalkeeper coach, that's a great thing, just in general. But just her leadership, her experience, her demeanor. Her demeanor is an amazing thing that I know, back in my playing days was always an appreciated from a goalkeeper. The style and the way she demands, but the way that she organizes, so efficiently. I think that's going to be a huge piece of the leadership. Abby Small in the back line is going to be, I think, a good, powerful voice, a calm demeanor. You've got Katie LaForge, who, will be coming off the bench. She's the head coach of Avila. An amazing breadth of experience playing in the pros. So having, Katie on the sideline with me, not only as a player, but also as a smart coach, is always a benefit and something that's positive. And her leadership just alone, and the trust that she has with some of these players is impeccable, and something that I'm not looking to interfere with, only support when I can. I think Courtney and Taylor in the midfield are going to provide a lot of energy and a lot of those moments that, the players are going to start to look for. And hopefully gravitate towards that energy and take on. So they may be a little bit more silent leaders, but their play is that leadership that we always desire. The front line is going to be something interesting to watch, who kind of helps in that front line leadership. Emily Key is, a keystone of Casey Courage and what she's provided over the years statistically, and her results are backed. But we've got a few others that are in the mix that, we'll see how that all lands in terms of who really can take a role within that group up top. But let alone, that's the brilliance of this team. And what I've got to see over the last 2 weeks is that truly, there's just these pockets that are really, really strong, but they're not surrounded by weakness. They're surrounded with these women that are right next to them that, embrace criticism, that embrace, constructive thoughts and ideas on how we make it better. And so I think that's where the leadership really comes into, is it's not one voice, it's this collective voice that's adding respect and trust in one another. But those will be a few names that, I'm going to be looking for when, again, I can't step on the field and say, everybody freeze, I would like to change something right now. Those will be the voices that we'll look to see stand out today at the game.
Well, so before we let you go, I have to ask, what should fans be expecting today? Obviously, with the COVID restrictions kind of being a little being reduced, what should fans be experiencing, or what should they expect to see from KC Courage and the game day experience?
Well, Avila is a great venue because of the space. They've got a multi-purpose, huge turf field where the university plays soccer, football, baseball. So it's a big space. Admission is going to be free, and there's going to be a lot of space to spread out. There's space in the stands. There's other additional stands that we've got surrounding the field. So from a COVID standpoint, we're pretty safe in being able to socially distance. I think the rain's going to hold off, or at least be done by kickoff. So, that's another good thing. Yeah. So
we know you guys have things to do. Candace, you have a young game to get to today, as well as prep. So any last words before we let you guys sign off and get ready for your day?
It's the same as before. I mean, let's go like that.
Let's go.
What you talked to me 2 weeks ago without that middle word, the let's go. LFG is kind of that. But yeah, the UA daughter is up and hopefully got her game uniform on at this point in time. But yeah, I mean, I think what is awesome is what you guys are doing, which is bringing these games to a wider audience and trying to help attract, people to the matches and into the environment, which, coaching a UA girls game is like, guys, there is free soccer. Parents, go look and see what your daughters could be doing. I think that's such an important thing. And so that representation of a pathway that, wasn't a luxury necessarily to Wendy or I, how we can continue to help push that out and make sure that, these young girls and these parents know they can support a dream that these players can actually have and live out is a huge piece of this. So thank you guys for what you're doing.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. So you guys, my Cujo this afternoon, 4 p.m. at the university. I won't say the name because I butchered it, obviously, the first time out. But we appreciate you guys taking the time to join us this morning, and we look forward to more opportunities to chat and the KC Courage and the hashtag Summer of Soccer.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right. So you heard it here today. Kickoff 4 p.m. at Avila College. I think I butchered it again, but the game will take place at 4 p.m. on My Cujo. Check out the link from the UWS.soccer.com/UWS-week-3-preview. Hey, Megan, you have your first question of the year. It comes from John out in Michigan. He wants to know what kits are behind you in the morning show here. What kits are you showing up here?
So we've got, hold on, this mirror is getting me. Okay. England shirt, Watford shirt, AC Milan, that's my boyfriend's. And then we can't go wrong. We had to have it. Unity FC playing tonight at 7. Squinch right there.
Squincher for life. Squincher for life. Exciting things. Danny, how have you been, man? I feel like we jumped in the show. We didn't get anything. You're living with 10-year-olds or everybody under 10, right?
Yeah. So there's a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, I think, a 3-year-old. Man, it's mayhem. I don't even think they can count. They're too busy trying to rile everybody up. I don't know if they know anybody's ages, but it's been fantastic over here in Charlotte. I am spoiled. Soccer everywhere. Women's soccer is abundant. Men's soccer too. It's so cool. So having a great time and trying to kind of see as many games in person as I can. And if I was next to Avila /Avila / whatever it's called, university, I would be at KC Courage too. But also very envious of the kit game. Love the kits behind Megan. Glad she got some attention for that. Really need that 3 lions. Is that red or is that like a maroon going on? I want one of those.
Yeah, this is my gosh, am I on the right side?
I want that one too.
I cannot do this mirror effect. Okay, it's like maroon with like roses. I'll have to.
Wow.
It's actually really cool.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
That's beautiful.
It's like the Portland Thorns kit.
Oh.
In the World Cup in France, the Women's World Cup, I was rocking that, and I felt pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
So, hey, listen, guys, we had week 2, and with week 2, we were not expecting goals galore. And we, in 2 matches, we had 18 goals. The Connecticut Fusion and Side FC, 18 combined goals between just the 2 teams. Let's break down some of those matches from last week. Megan, what match caught your eye on week 2?
I want to talk about that Connecticut match. I mean, Connecticut lit up. So they kind of started off, took a 3-0 lead going in at halftime, and then in that second half, just absolutely exploded. We saw an incredible performance from Tiffany Weiner beginning her season with a hat trick. Yeah, she's definitely one to watch. That was her debut performance, so we can only hope to see incredible things from her. Another standout performance to me was Emma McLaughlin. She scored 2 goals. And she scored that 10th goal, just kind of sealed the deal. Complete individual goal. Took on a couple of players from central field and then slotted one home. We also saw goals from Megan Doyle, Chanel Johnson, Tori Saucer, Casey Lawrence, and Chloe Landers. It's a good scoreline for them to start the season. I think they're going to be taking that momentum. We saw them play last night and earn their second win of the season. So I think Connecticut could be one to watch. They've started the season banging in a lot of goals.
Danny, what about you? What match caught your eye from week 2?
I'm going to take a much closer battle here. Corktown AFC taking on Lansing United, 2 of the perennial powers in the North. Corktown coming off a dominant start to their season, 8-0, I think was that opening day scoreline. So similar to what Megan gave us a second ago. Lansing United coming off a very close loss. That was a battle between a couple of teams that both had a lot of quality. They just couldn't find the winner in the end. Ended up losing by one solitary goal. Unfortunately, that's 2 straight for Lansing now. They lose 2-1 in this one as well. Wasn't for lack of trying. Corktown goes ahead in the first half. Emma Hissick grabs the assist, and Samantha Woods puts that one in the back of the net. Was looking like we were going to stay at 1-0 all the way through, but 86th minute, some drama. Lansing finds an equalizer. But as we know, those of us who can count, 1-1 do not add to a 2-1 scoreline. 89th minute, Abby Worthman for Corktown puts the winner in the back of the net, and Corktown goes 2-0 from 2 matches. We knew they were going to be a strong side, but really that's their 2 biggest rivals for this conference title already down. Probably the hardest part of their schedule early on, and they've breezed through it. Hasn't been easy for them, but they've found those results. For Lansing's end, the complete opposite. They've played kind of the 2 toughest opponents they have in the regular season and just haven't found what was necessary to bring themselves those results. They'll still be plenty competitive. I think they've got a lot of wins in front of them. But looking at, potential conference titles and national playoff hopes, it just makes it tough when you lose to 2 of your biggest competitors in that regard. So tough start for them.
Yeah, definitely a tough start for Lansing, going from only losing 1 match to now kind of in the hole to begin the season. So I'm expecting them this weekend and going forward to kind of pull themselves out of this hole and get on the right side here going forward. My match this weekend, this past weekend, was the Detroit City FC Muskegon Risers. We were not sure what to expect from the Muskegon Risers as it related to their last match where they lost 8-0. They actually came out and looked like a totally different team in this match. Another close match in the Midwest Conference. Detroit City FC obviously getting their first win of the year, their first official UWS win ever, and they got it over the Muskegon Risers by the scoreline of 2-1. Detroit City started off early with Brooke Honeycutt, who crashed off a rebound, putting in the team ahead, but leveling a fantastic effort. This is one of our goals of the week. Mary Mitchell bins it from the outside of the box, but to be outdone later by Marley Taylor, who hits a volley that just kind of chipped the keeper. We'll see more of that here later in the show, but what an awesome game. I mean, we were not thinking Muskegon was going to do something like this, and they definitely came out and did a top-notch job to stay in that match. Obviously, the 52nd minute was not their friend, but hey, hopefully they continue to improve going forward. So listen, this weekend we have matches. We have a lot of matches starting off. What match, Megan, has your attention this weekend?
So the match that catches my eye is one of my teams who I'm expecting in that Final Four. We've got FC Blue Heat open up action in the West Conference. So International CA and Congo SC kicking things off. FC Blue Heat versus Congo SC starting at 6 p.m. I think it's going to be a good game. I think they had that delay last week with their conference meant to be opening. So that just adds that extra, I'm ready to kick things off. That game's starting at 6 p.m. on the West Coast, located at Masters University. So check that one out if you're in town, or on my Cujo as well. I'm really excited to see SC Blue Heat take on this match.
Danny?
I was thinking about keeping the prediction bias going with some FC Buffalo. They're taking on Albany Rush. I think they're going to dominate in that one. It's almost just they're too good. Can't even. I mean, it's not even going to be fun. They're the best in the world. But I'm going to go to the Southwest. San Antonio Athenians coming off a big 3-0 win over a team I did not expect them to really even be that competitive with. They really surprised me. Knew they were a good team, but I didn't know they were that good. They beat FC Austin Elite 3-0. Now they're taking on CTX Hornets in that Central Texas area as well. Home game for them at Soccer Central in San Antonio, my former home of about 10 years ago. And, I'm starting to develop a little San Antonio pride, with the Athenians. It's now I've seen them winning some matches. it's fun to see them doing that, and we'll see if they can keep it running against a team that I'm a big fan of. I have a couple stickers from. The Hornets are a pretty fantastic club, and they're brand new to UWS. So welcome to the league. You're about to face probably the best team in the division. We'll see if they can nag an away point from the hosts, but I think these 3 points are going to Athenians. Maybe a 3-2, a 3-1. Plenty of goals from Athenians can be expected. When you put 3 on FC Austin Elite, they're going to be putting a lot of goals on everybody.
For me, like, the match that has my attention is a rematch from week 1, and that's the Kicks and the Lady Steel. That match had everything. It had drama. It had a late grab. It had essentially, I'm just going to take these points and run away. They did everything they could, the Steel and the Kicks, to battle out. They get a chance today at De La Salle Institute in Chicago. Look, 2 times you lost to them. This is a chance to get some redemption. I know last week's match for the Kicks was canceled or to be rescheduled, and so I'm excited to see what they do. They've had about 2 weeks to get themselves going. Lady Steel coming off a loss to MSC Peoria, who, I didn't expect them to come out and win that match. I thought Lady Steel was running on a high, but I think this match is going to be a lot closer in scoreline. I think we're going 0-0. I think both teams play each other out. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of opportunity, but I think we're seeing a 0-0 match against the Kicks and the Lady Steel today from De La Salle Institute in Chicago. What do you guys think?
Have we had a 0-0 yet? Has that?
We haven't. I don't think that's a thing in the UWS.
I was gonna say that's a bold prediction, my friend.
Yeah, that's interesting. I agree. I think it's going to be tied, but I'm going 2-2. We've had too many games with goals to be predicting 0-0 from my end.
Oh,
yeah,
see, I gotta...
Guy, put him in his place in the comments, please. That's that 0-0. What? Come on, John. Now that you're in San Diego, you think you can just predict whatever the heck you want over there, man. That is ridiculous. 0-0.
Ron Burgundy had it right,
UWS.
Ron Burgundy had it right. I'm excited. Now, I think 0-0, but there's going to be a lot of action. There's going to be some. I'm calling it right now. I'm going to have the save of the week. I think we run that opportunity, but we're going to have save of the week from this match, and there's going to be more than one opportunity to see that go on. So it'll be exciting. But hey, let's talk about save of the week. Megan, we had some great opportunities this weekend. We had 2 great saves, and I apologize for the videos because they're not all that good, but let's bring them up. Coming from the Twitter page of UWS, let's get into some saves of the week.
Yeah, so first up, we've got that FC Buffalo Rochester Lancers game. We see a double save from Barron in the goal. I mean, double saves. This is, again, another double save here in the Lansing United game from Clem. Just to get up this quickly, that's top quality goalkeeping, Comes out, smothers that ball, and then straight back up and getting one again. I mean, this is exactly what you want from your goalkeeper. They will put everything on the line to stop this from going in. That's true passion right there. It's a tough one to pick. I mean, Danny, what's your thoughts on these?
I mean, two really strong double saves. Obviously, when you've got double saves in the conversation, usually you put a double save up against a normal save and you say, yeah, it's got to be the double save. Because like you just mentioned, those reflexes, that ability to just know where you're at in reference to the goal. And I mean, that's stuff that I have immense respect for and could never do because my reflexes are garbage. But I mean, you look at these saves and they're both at that level. I lean towards the first one, and not just because they had to have a heroic effort to keep Buffalo out of the goal. I think it's a better original save. That dive to her right is you're not going to see. I think especially with the quality of video, it looks a lot easier to make that save than it was. A lot of power on that strike. So that first save initially is fantastic. And to clear it away to the opposite side, she knows exactly what she's doing. She's giving herself that time to make the second save. So I think there's a little bit more strategy, thinking on her feet in that first save. I go with the first one.
See, and I have to disagree with that. I have to go Clem because she had to have that reaction time to make sure, because that ball bounced right back to the opposition, and she had to make sure she was right on it. So I'm going Clem. We'll find out more as the Twitter results come in. Check out UWS Soccer on Twitter. Put your vote in today for save of the week. But this is Megan's time. Megan, we got goal of the week. And again, I apologize. I pulled it from Twitter this morning as I didn't have the full video because I just was not at my main computer. But let's get into goal of the week. Here we go.
Yeah, so first up, I mean, they're both from the same game. We've spoken about this game earlier. We've got Muskegon rises with this goal, an absolute banger from about 35 yards out, cuts inside and puts it top corner. That feeling is just insane. And then later we respond with this goal from top of the box, an excellently executed volley. You see how she controls this ball despite having pressure coming towards her. This composure is of a top class player. Marley Taylor is not fazed by these players stepping out to her. She knows what she's going to do as that ball is dropping, and she executes it to perfection. So that game had top quality goals. The first goal as well was a goal of just pure desire following in. But these two, as soon as I saw them, I was like, yeah, these are the two nominations because, yeah, they're top quality goals. I mean, Twitter's been going crazy over them.
And Twitter has the votes are coming in fast, by the way, on that, and I'm excited to see what happens going forward. Danny, what did you think about those two opportunities or goals that had been shown?
Man, they're beautiful. I mean, anytime you've got, a shot like that with players around you involved, I mean, we go crazy over, a goal from midfield, or a goal from really far out with no one on you. That's cool. I love the accuracy, but in the heat of that moment, that is something you can't reproduce in training. You cannot manufacture that moment of pressure and people around you and the circumstances that are just in front of you as you hit that ball. That's just an incredible ability to think on your feet and know in the middle of that match exactly where you want to hit it. And Megan mentioned this too. I mean, the second goal, she knows exactly where she's placing that. Doesn't matter where anybody else puts themselves defensively. That's my nightmare as a defender, is a player like that who, no matter what I do to you, even if you have, half a yard of space, you know how to get it around me and there's nothing I can do. I just have to get to that ball first. That type of striker is why you see, at the professional level and even here in UWS, players who have that and an ability to beat you on the dribble, there's no defending that. Because, I mean, they're going to choose one or the other, kind of like basketball, where if you have a good shooter and a good dribbler, I mean, they're going to beat you one of those two ways. So really cool to see that level of quality in UWS. Those are players that, deserve a look at NWSL sides in Europe. These are players at that level of quality that could be making those big bucks. So cool to see them in UWS kicking it here too.
So congratulations to Mary Mitchell, Marley Taylor, Barron, and Clem from the Saves of the Week. But I think we had winners already. It looks like it's resounding that on Twitter, Marley Taylor, I apologize. Marley Taylor from Detroit City FC takes goal of the week. And then Clem from Lansing United wins goal or save of the week. So congratulations to the both of you. But
well, hey, listen, I like that mistake, Marley Mitchell, because they're both equally good. That's who I vote for. Is Marley Mitchell.
I think it's these Detroit City fans are just unstoppable. I mean, did you see the size of that crowd? They had like chants going. They had in-sync dances going. The atmosphere at that game, and to get 2 goals of that quality. I mean, if you don't want to come out to a UWS game now, I don't know what's going to make you come out. Like, these goals are crazy.
They were crazy. And hey, look, the Detroit City fans, the supporters group, they do it right. Remember last summer when we didn't have matches, when we had a few, they actually stopped the match for 10 minutes because they have a smoke bot. They have a robot that is designed to put out smoke, and it stopped the match because they couldn't figure out the algorithm. I don't know. But that in and of itself, look, you've got a great supporter group. Keep it up, Detroit City FC. The supporters group out there is immense. Hey, but we have a team of the week, and we had more matches, more slate of games, more opportunity to win. And so with some spectacular performances throughout the UWS, we got some performances. Ashley Barron's standout showing at the back of Corktown got Defensive Player of the Week honors, and she actually is a 2-time winner of the Team of the Week award. And then Tiffany Weimer with her hat trick. Let's be real. You're scoring hat tricks. She was outdone, though. There was 4 goals done this past week. with Side FC. So there is goals to be had, but in terms of just general goals, it's exciting because it's nice to see that there's points being put on the board. But our team of the week looks a little something like this, and I'm excited. We have everybody's represented from every part of the league. Barron wins. She didn't win save of the week, but she got goalkeeper of the week. Barron, obviously, with her 2-time performance. Bagley for the smiles. Taylor sitting in the middle of the Corktown midfield, and then Weimer up front. Awesome opportunity for all these women. Congratulations to all of you for your team of the week. What did you guys think? Who stood out to you this week for UWS team of the week?
No, I think they got it right. I think it's a really good decision as far as Ashley Barron. Really like that move. Seemed like she was a really important piece of that back line. And that's a game where, that was one I mentioned earlier. They're taking on Lansing and they get that 2-1 win. The fact that they're able to hold for that long until the 86th minute, it just gives you that momentum and feeling that, they get that goal, but then you can kind of fall back on an extra effort, an extra push, because you haven't had to get a goal back. At 1-1, if you're trying to push for that goal to go ahead and then the other team scores that late, you've almost just kind of lost your energy reserve. So that ability to keep it 1-0 for so long until the 86th minute, for me, that allows them kind of emotionally, mentally, stamina-wise, to have enough in the tank to go forward and get that second goal, win that game. Really well done by that entire back line. Glad that there's a Corktown representative who wins that goal, or defensive player of the week.
Megan?
Yeah, I mean, these players, it's so tough to pick. These players are just putting out brilliant performances, but I really do think if this 11 was an actual team, they would probably win the national championship. Like, this is a solid team. You've got goals galore up front, and then, like Danny said, that back three, they're gonna put that team to the test. Like, how do you get past these 3 defenders? And if you do, you've got Barron making double saves. So well done to all of these players. They truly deserve this.
Hey, so let's talk real quick. Let's get it. I kicked Megan off. Wrong person. So hey, let's talk a little bit about some storylines going into week 3. What should we expect? Are we going to have more goals in week 3 than we did week 1 and 2 combined, or what should we expect this week from just soccer in general for the hashtag summer
your
soccer?
Predictions are right. Not if we get that 0-0 over there, we won't. But no, it's I'm expecting a lot more goals. That's going to be a storyline throughout the season. I don't think that's just a one-off first match of the season. You look at these defenses and they're defending well. That's something that you can kind of expect to be at a level of quality right out of the gate. Usually it's the attacking that takes a while to really get that you really need to kind of be in training for a while to be prepared for it. Now, I do think a lot of people coming off of college seasons, that's got them a little sharper in front of goal. So I think that we'll keep this level of finishing. Maybe a few more closer matches, so maybe some of these 8-0s. I mean, we saw it with Muskegon. Lose 8-0, come back out the next week, 2-1. Still plenty of goals. I think we'll see, 3 to 4 goals as an average, as a minimum almost, in most of these matches. But I think we'll start weeding out some of these 8, 9, 10-0s. Players are getting more competitive, and clubs are kind of getting to know each other better. So more goals, maybe not, but more goals in different places and more competitive matches, I'd say so.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that these big scorelines they're gonna stop. They're gonna stop because you completely saw it with Muskegon, like Danny said. First game in the UWS. It's hard to know what to expect. You've also got the nerves running high. I think the emotional side of things is something that for those new teams coming into the UWS, they don't quite know what they're expecting. They don't quite know how the game's going to go. They're wearing that badge for that very first time. It's a lot. And I think that is partially why we're seeing those big score lines this early on. But I think they're going to drop. Like Muskegon came back out. That week in training it's not changed their performance level. They haven't started off terribly and then 1 week later they're insane. No, that's that mental side of the game. That's learning how to deal with those nerves, learning how to come together and how to work for each other. And I think we're going to continue to see lots of goals, but maybe not quite as many because those high score lines are going to come out. And we've also spoke about these defenses. They're pretty tough to get past. So would that also contribute to less goals? Potentially. But I think continuing to see competitive matches, these matches are going back and forth. It's not, no team is coming out and parking the bus and sitting deep. Each team is absolutely going for it, which is what I love to see.
32 goals in week 2. I don't know if we see the same amount of goals. I hope we do. But again, if my nil is correct, we're not seeing it. So hopefully we see some more goals in the hashtag Summer of Soccer.
Hey, and more conferences to come too. We got the Southeast coming in soon in June, and then we've got, the West starting this week, if I'm not mistaken. So more games too. Yeah,
so more games, more opportunity to score some goals. Hopefully better saves, better golazos, bigger saves, bigger golazos heading into week 4 next week. But we hope everybody is able to enjoy or watch some of the matches. My Cujo is your place to be heading into week 3. So make sure you check out the UWS previews of the matches and as well get those links. So check out uwssoccer.com to get your fix for heading into the weekend. More hashtag Summer of Soccer. So before we go, anything to add, you two, before we let everybody get ready for their day of soccer?
Yeah, thanks everybody for supporting, for watching UWS matches. One of the best ways. You don't really realize how impactful those numbers are when you can say this many people watched the UWS stream, this many people watched our match. Don't think that because you're not a ticket sale that you're not contributing financially by watching those matches. Sponsorship opportunities go way up. So please go out and support those clubs. If you care about these clubs, if you're listening to them, and you want to see what they're doing, please watch those streams. It means a lot to them to have those viewership numbers and to have you be able to support and put it out on Twitter and interact with them. So keep interacting, keep being awesome. Appreciate you guys listening, and support some local Summer of Soccer. Where's that hashtag, Megan? Yeah, there it is. We found it.
Right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, like Danny said, put it the best way. Thank you guys just for so much for your support. Unity's playing tonight, so I'm buzzing. First game back for the summer.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one.
Wear your sunscreen. Get ready, Megan. It's going to be a burner tonight. Hopefully you can put some in the back of the bin too. Hey, so I do want to give a shout out to Dan Vaughn and Steven Ramirez, both from Protagonist. Steven has been going, we're going to call it UWS After Dark. Steven, if you're watching this morning, keep that going, man. What you're doing for the league to promote those matches is huge. And Dan, thank you for supporting the league and that Twitter comment you made about the quality. We're excited because it's only going to get better as we get further into summer. So for the three of us, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for joining us this morning. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope that you're excited for week 3 of UWS soccer and UWS 2, which has a bunch of games about to kick off this morning, as well as Unity kicking off this evening, hashtag Squincher. Don't forget to check them out. You can find those kits actually that Megan has for Unity are on sale now. $22 gets you a Unity kit, so make sure you check that out. It's hard to beat that price. I see kits for 70, 80 bucks, but when you can support grassroots soccer and support a great program like Unity, make sure you check them out. But don't forget to follow the show, our hosts on social media, and we look forward to seeing you all next Saturday for the UWS Kickoff Show powered by Rain Body Fuel. I'm excited. Have a great soccer day, and we'll talk to everybody next weekend. Until then, cheers, everyone.
Up the Unity. See y'all.